me see.
Jonathan
This is
Cook.
Mr. Cook, right?
Yeah. I have a bachelor's degree in physics from Michigan State University, and I work for the Patent Office in optical testing and measuring. I can honestly say that this particular end of optical testing and measuring isn't what I do daily, but I have done machines similar to this.
Okay.
I do interferometry, which is distance measuring.
So you have some familiarity with lasers, beams, for example.
In general optics, I have a pretty good familiarity.
Okay. And Eastover Auto Supply, you probably have a name other than Eastover.
My name is William Foreman.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to
and
meet you,
what's your position at Eastover?
I'm the owner.
And what is your background?
I have a degree in social science from St. Mary's College of Maryland. I've been in business in the Eastover Shopping Center since 1982.
Okay, so you don't have the expertise that Mr. Cook does, right?
No, I've been the victim, so therefore I.
Yeah. we don't call people victims. Let me just look at these pictures. I don't know. They have you 54. All right. Can either of you tell me if you were going? I want to get us up 63. No way.
Yeah, that's why I'm fighting this particular one.
I can see that. Let's forget the 63 for a minute. I don't think there's any way you're going 63. But if somebody for Eastover was driving at 54 miles an hour, you say you how far would they travel? Because you brought some charts with you.
Yes, I did.
Nice handy table right here.
Yeah, you table.
May I approach you?
I just want to see the table. That's all I want to see.
I've superimposed the position of the two vehicles.
Oh, okay, bring me the pictures. This man's
But I have
put in
some that are far more damning than that.
Okay, well.
These are the ones that are on trial.
Yeah, I just want to see. So the picture in front is how far you would have traveled?
No, that's the second photograph. You can pull the photographs down off the internet from onlinecitation.com. So I superimposed the second photograph on top of the
you're
first.
showing your position. You put them both on one photo.
Yes, sir. So you can have a point of
How
reference.
far you went. So, for example, in your photos, you went 1 car length plus 3 feet, kind of like that last case I just
Yes,
did.
and at
And your
49.
car is a little bit bigger, so you may have gone, 17 to 20 feet. 20
Well,
feet.
the vehicle is 14.66 feet long at 49 miles per hour.
How big is your vehicle?
That vehicle, that's not mine, but it's my store manager. His vehicle is 14.66 feet long.
Okay, so it's
and the distance at 49 miles per hour would have been 26 feet. And the other photograph would have been 28 feet. It's hardly likely that that same vehicle would fit between those two vehicles.
Well, but you got to measure front to front, not front to back.
Exactly, but the 14.66 is the distance of the vehicle, and then there's a space in between. That would have to be the length of another vehicle for it to equal 28 feet.
I don't think so.
14.66.
No, I don't doubt the figures. I don't doubt your chart height.
I have something I'd like to.
Yeah, let me see yours too.
Because I think where we're coming in, John, if you look at that diagram there of the unit itself, you notice that the cameras are facing ahead of the actual sensors, which are at the very, very top. This particular unit on a pole stands with I-beams that shoot out like this. You break the beam,
Right.
clock stops. But the pictures are taken after the violation. It's not a traditional wideband radar, and I believe that and I don't dispute what they're saying in reference to the distance, but the actual distance between those two beams, those pictures that are taken, the violation.
Yeah.
How can we defend ourselves if the evidence
Right.
Isn't that the evidence you're using against us?
I was thinking the
It's-
same.
Sir.
I mean, I'm not explaining it exactly right, Your Honor, but the distance itself on that first picture, and I have had the technicians to come out and further explain to me a few things in reference to the camera itself. I'm not disputing anything that, I'm not saying that their mathematical equations aren't accurate, but I'm just trying to give you a better perspective of how.
No, I understand, but I disagree to this extent. When I'm measuring the first picture and the second, I have to measure your front end in the first picture to your front end in the second picture. I estimated 17 to 20 feet I think it's more like, based on the size of your vehicle, because I didn't know how long it was, is 17 feet. And maybe, yeah, I'd say 17 in both.
Right.
Now, you said, I'm trying to figure this out. One picture, you're going 54, and would go 79.2 feet per second. And at 0.363 seconds, it would be 28.7 feet.
Correct.
Right? And so you're about 10 feet short of that in one picture. In the other photo, going 49 miles per hour, that's 26 feet, and you're about 9 feet short of that. And speed racer over here, Mr. Cook, he was going, he would have gone 33 and a half feet.
I was using your post method. I moved about 5 posts.
Yeah, but you can't. It is a bad angle.
Yeah.
I'll return this. Basically, let me save everybody a lot of trouble. Officer, the technician isn't here. I'm going to have enough doubt to find him not guilty. So I'm going to do so. But even though your speed was faster, I have more doubts of his than yours, because you traveled a greater distance.
I'd have taken a picture of the intersection with a distance measure, but it's too busy to get out there.
No, you don't want to kill yourself over $40. I agree with that. Yes.
Your Honor, may I?
Yeah.
That vehicle was accused of going 76 miles per hour. We're not on trial for that one right now.
Yeah, that's not likely.
I mean, and although I greatly appreciate your compassion and consideration for the people in this courtroom today, and the levity is welcomed, but this is not a laughing matter. Every single day, right now, people are being photographed by those cameras and issuing invoices at the toll plaza, which is what we call it.
And maybe some are...
Some are probably
correct.
accurate, but people are being ripped off. I'm one of them. We have 30 invoices we received from them. We've paid fines, and my people work too hard. I can't hold a driver responsible for when I tell him you went 76 miles per hour, he didn't. So I'm if I want to register my
because
vehicle,
that's the same distance as the other cars.
Pardon me?
That truck went the same distance as each
Exactly.
of these.
It did not go 76 miles per hour.
And they can't all be accurate. I understand. It's a
so
machine.
frustrating, though.
It's not perfect, but it's out of my control and your control, because it's set up by state statute. It's been upheld so far in most places. There are a number. Actually, my son, when he got his, sent me a case from California where it was thrown out for a different reason.
They're being removed from Arizona, actually.
It's being challenged based on more evidentiary grounds than anything so far. The ones I've seen, I haven't read every one, but people send me stuff, because nobody's thrilled with it. But yet they're still there, and we still have to deal with it. And the only thing you can do is come to court. You may get somebody that agrees with you, and you may get somebody that disagrees with you. Just like the officer. He gets, how many come to court a year? 1,000, 1,500, something like that?
Total, we've had about 65 to 70,000 violations written, and out of the 65 to 70,000, we've seen 1,100.
1,100 come to court. So of that 1,100, he may win some, and he'll lose some. And as you see,
But it's so depressing to see these poor people parade in here, be accused of doing something that I don't feel they're guilty of.
Well, we don't, some may and some may not, which is why I always give people the option of paying or staying.
And I appreciate your compassion.
What else can I do? But some are accurate and some aren't. But I'd say for the most part, they're probably fairly reliable, I would assume. You know, I mean, but you can say the same about laser guns, radar, you know, although you're street level.
The laser gun is a proven technology, though. It's been used in the field. I don't think this thing's been tested enough in the field.
Maybe not, but supposedly this is the same technology as a laser that an officer holds in his or her hand.
No, because the laser is actually a distance measure. This is not a distance measure. It's just a timer. It's like,
That's
click
true.
on, click off.
It's kind of like our red light violations. Although, with the red light violations, it either is or isn't. And now we have, and a lot of jurisdictions now have videos, which makes it much easier. To see.
In general, I try to follow the rule of law. It's just that abuses like this, in my opinion, are what make people upset about it. With the red light cameras, you can have the argument that there are some municipalities in Texas, for instance, that have been caught shortening their yellow lights so they can catch more people. Whenever a municipality makes adjustments, and that sort of, they damage the rule of law, in my opinion. When you got cameras that are, I just have a fundamental problem with the way this thing operates. It doesn't have adjustments for any sway on that pole, which is the first thing that struck me. How far apart are the beams, by the way?
That's the wrong person.
All right. I was saying, is it possible? I was just trying to come up with ways that it's possible it could be wrong.
The statute, just for your information, does allow you to request that the technician, I guess that we can define what the technician means, be present. And, I would certainly advise somebody to do that. And then,
what time do you do that at? Because I
think you have to do it when you. I'd have to look it up, but I think when you request within a certain number of days, or when you request.
Okay, so I have to request and then request the technician separately. Because I filed.
That's a good question.
I filed this.
I think it goes to. Does it go to the jurisdiction? The request.
The request.
See, isn't it motor vehicle?
The clerk has to make the request with the clerk of the court. Sending the paperwork to get a court date for it.
Yeah. But you could always subpoena the people at the company that runs it. Each of these have vendors.
Right.
And different vendors run the different machines. Those could be subpoenaed, and so if you want to, it's kind of like. It's something where you can subpoena somebody, and that can be good or bad news. You can subpoena somebody, and they may be the ones that help convict you, or you can subpoena them, and they may not show up, and you may be all right. The one lady had her letter to show that she had subpoenaed. We usually require that. I don't know if this book has the. This book doesn't have the. Somebody made me a copy.
I'd like to pose some hard questions to Mr. Sees.
Who's that?
Mr. Sees, the inventor.
The inventor? Is that who invented it?
Yeah, and Andre Sees.
Is this his name?
Andre Sees, I think it is. Antonio Sees.
Antonio.
Sees, as in multiple C's.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have the statute in front of me right now. It's somewhere in all here. But yeah, that's an option. You have to use your judgment as to whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. But you can send in a letter requesting a technician. You could subpoena anybody at the company that developed the technology or adapted it for the county. And then these questions can be going. And then you can show a picture like you're 170-some miles an hour and say, how is that possible?
I think that's the strongest argument, actually.
Yeah. So. Anyway, I'm not guilty. I'm going to find them not guilty. They worked hard for their not guilty. They deserve it more than anybody.
Is there any recourse on the fines that we've paid?
No.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I would say probably.
The irony of it is, as far as Forest Heights is past due on their account with me, I won't sell them. They owe me $1,000. The mayor has been suspended. It's
really?
with corruption down there.
I was just going to say, if they buy stuff from you, you can raise your prices.
That's on the political side.
Yeah,
Nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I know.
They were quoted as saying they went green, and it's not in ecology.
I see.
They bought new pickup trucks, new salt spreaders, they're spending money like drunken sailors.
Yeah. Well, it does bring in a good revenue. I understand, and they don't get all of it.